Hey everyone, I'm here with Chava. Chava, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, my name is Chava, and I'm from Kiryat Yam. And I'm a teacher for Hebrew literature, and I'm married and I have 2 children.
Beautiful. So Chava agreed to talk to us about her experience as a person who grew up to a family of Olim from Ethiopia. I would really love to hear a bit about your family. When did your parents make Aliyah? Were you part of that?
Okay, I was born in Israel, and my parents, they made Aliyah, each one of them separately. They met in Israel and they got married in Israel. So it's 2 different stories. My father is the shortest one, so during the 60s, my grandmother's brother made Aliyah. He was from the first Ethiopians to ever made Aliyah. It was not, it was לא מוסדר.
It was rare. Yeah. It wasn't organized.
Not organized. He just went on a ship that was coming to Eilat, and then he said, "Hello, I'm here. I'm Jewish." So my family was the last one who came. It was in 1977, and my father and his parents and his brother came to Israel in 1973, so they were separated. And in Ethiopia there was a war, so they had to sell all the things they have to come to Addis Ababa. And then they took a plane to Kenya, from Kenya to France, and from France to Israel, because they were afraid that if the Ethiopian government knew they're coming to Israel, they won't let them go onto the plane. So he told me I was in Kenya, but I never left the plane because we were afraid. So they came here in 1977, in the night, the Sylvester. So he said, no, 1978. Yeah, and then he came when he was 16. So he went to kibbutz, and he was in the army and found a job. And then my mother, she was very stubborn. She was very stubborn. So my grandmother felt like something's going on. I feel like she's about to run to Israel, maybe try to do Aliyah by herself. So she decided to marry her. And it was an organized marriage. So she was 8, and her husband was 17. 2 weeks.
Way.
2 weeks after they got married, her husband's family decided to come to Israel.
No way. How cool.
So they went from Sudan. So they walked during the night, and they rested during the day for 2 weeks, and they came to Sudan. And in Sudan, after 3 months, my mother decided she wanted to get a divorce.
Makes sense. Okay.
She was 8.
Yeah.
So she got a divorce, found a job, and she lived there for a year and a half, almost 2 years. Her big sister, was also in Sudan, but she was married with 2 children, so she couldn't help her. And then they heard that the army is collecting people, and it was in 1983, I think. So she decided she wanted to come to Israel, and came to Israel.
Wow.
By herself. And I remember when I asked my father, why did you want to come to Israel so bad? And he told me that when they were little children, like when you say don't do that or we won't go to buy your candies, if you do that, you're not coming to Israel with us. You're not coming to Jerusalem. Yes. If you want to come to Jerusalem, be a good boy.
Wow.
They wanted to come here so bad. It was a part of their identity to see Israel, to see Jerusalem. And that's why my father's family, they heard Israel exists. Okay, let's come.
Do you think that Aliyah is a really central part of Ethiopian culture? At least when your parents still lived in Ethiopia, did you feel like a lot of people from their communities came here in the end because they were always taught that it's so important?
The Ethiopian Aliyah is, in my perspective, amazing because during the whole process, 1/4 of the whole Jewish community in Ethiopia was dead.
Wow.
Yeah, they came and people died. My aunt, she had 2 children, and she came to Sudan with my mother, and both of them died.
The children?
Yeah, both of them died.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
And every Ethiopian family has a story like that. They've been through so much just to come to Israel. It's heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking, but it's also beautiful because I feel like, there's always these stories of people who are like, oh, but were they even Jews or whatever. But yes, like, who has this inside drive, if not Jews, to come here? Like, it's such a beautiful way of making Aliyah because you've been taught it your whole life and everything about you, your whole essence is Jewish. So it's miraculous that they came, but it's also like, of course, like, it's so in the Jewish spirit. And that's also kind of the story of how everyone made Aliyah, of how Israel started.
And basically, yeah, I mean, Israel is Medinat Aliyah.
Yeah, a country of immigrants, for sure.
And then my parents met in Israel. And my mother, when she came to Israel, she was basically alone, so she went to a boarding school. And then her family came after 1.5 years, 2 years, something like that. And she wanted to come to visit them. So she came to Merkaz Klita.
To an absorption center.
And when she wanted to visit them, they told her, you can't come in because they need to get a vaccine and shots. So the next day, she came. She said, I'm the translator. Let me come in.
No way.
Yeah, she already had the chutzpah, Israeli chutzpah. And when she came, she told her mother, hi, it's me. But when she left, she was 8. And now she was about 12, 13.
Wow.
So her mother didn't recognize her. But when they were in Ethiopia, her sister and her went to chop some trees. And she cut her finger, and she had a scar. Yeah. So her sister came to her. She checked the scar, and she told her mother, "It's her."
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the moment they really connected again. And after my mother's family was in Israel, my mother didn't want to go back to the boarding school, so my grandmother told her, okay, you don't have to go to the boarding school, but you have to get married. And then she met my father, and
they met at the Merkaz Klita at the absorption center.
No.
Where'd they meet?
I don't know. No, I know, but it was also a arranged marriage. And my father used to say, I told him, why did you choose my mother? And he said, they offered me 2 girls. One was fat and cross-eyed, and the second one was your mother, and she was only fat. So,
oh my God.
So they met the day they got engaged, and the next day my mother just moved to his place. And they got married.
That's crazy. I feel like in today's standard, it's crazy. I feel like back then it was totally normal. But wow. Also to think that your mom got married twice by the age of 12 is crazy.
She was 14. When she got married with my dad, she was 14.
Okay. Before the age of 14, she was married twice. That's better. That's much better. Oh, wow. That's great.